This is the Money Radio Network. Ecom Powerhour, SEO, FBA, PPC. Making sense of all the letters, bringing clarity to e-commerce and how it impacts your bottom line. With your hosts, Jeff Fagin and Jason Nast.
All right, so here we are, Ecom Power Hour. This is Jeff Fagin, and it is such a pleasure to be here for our opening act of 13 acts we're going to have all together.
We've got a 13 contract here. Plus, maybe we'll extend it. You never know.
Absolutely, and we have an
It's up to these guys.
Yeah, no
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure, exactly. It's really great to be here. Over the next 13 episodes or so, we're going to inform a lot of you guys about just how profitable the internet has become and the opportunities that are out there these days for virtually anybody. And I really mean this, that really truly wants to live the laptop lifestyle, that they can learn in, I don't know, these guys here in our studio with us will be able to verify more than me, but I think it's certainly reasonable that within 3 years or less, someone who's totally focused on learning how to make money on the internet can create a tremendous amount of financial freedom for themselves simply by learning any one of a zillion different strategies that are out there to make money. What do you think about that, Jason?
Very true. You know, I'm really happy. We have some really special guests in the studio today.
Yes, sir.
Because the gentlemen that are in the studio today really have 3 different ways that they're approaching e-com and how it's working and leveraging e-com for their benefit and for the benefit of others as well. And there are so many ways out there. There are just so many different things to talk about. Like our opening, people on the street, they're talking about these things, these FBAs and the CPAs and the CPCs and all. What is all that? It's just confusing. So we're here to make some clarity of that. And we have some great guest experts in the studio that are going to help us really, really narrowly clear up and narrowly define what e-com is and how it really, really helps everybody who's listening here.
Outstanding. And Jason, who would you say is the ideal listener for our program?
Well, it ranges widely, but I'll say what I see. When we paint our avatar, I see the small business person, the entrepreneur, or the service level person. For this show today especially, I think it's going to be really beneficial for them. When you're running if you're a massage therapist, you're a chiropractor, you're a dentist, if you are running a small business and you need to drive traffic, ultimately I think that's really going to help people. But those are the kind of people who are driven. Those people who start those kinds of business are driven. And really what that means is that they're entrepreneurs. And through e-com, they can grow their own businesses to substantial size, but they're also going to be opened up and enlightened to so many other ways that they can actually become financially free and not be trapped in their own door, not be trapped in their own store. And they can take all that and make it virtual. So I look at an entrepreneur as our ideal candidate or our ideal listener. What do you think?
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I think anybody that truly wants to have the freedom to live their life according to their terms, to be able to create a business around their lifestyles. So if they have kids and they want to be able to be around the kids when the kids are growing up, or if they want to be able to, if they're single like the 3 guys we have here and they want to travel all around the world, it doesn't really matter where you guys are in the world. As long as you have access to the internet, man, you can be making money from anywhere.
Wi-Fi's life.
Yeah,
that's
all you need. That's all you need. That's exactly right. And so I think for more and more people today, let's face it, everybody's begun to realize that a job just doesn't have the security that used to go along with the job security. I mean, there is no such thing anymore, right, guys? I mean, we all agree. Yeah. So, a pink slip is something that, we have no control over, but we can control our own businesses. Yep. And that's where I think it's so exciting, Jason, you and me, that we can bring these young business entrepreneurs into our studio and have them share, because everybody today needs to be in a business of their own, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. There's no reason that every single human being on the planet does not own their own business.
Yes.
There are just so many reasons to do that, and we are we're benefited so much for owning your own business, because not only the tax advantages, but the time advantages as well that really comes with that.
Oh yeah, and plus if you look at the cash flow quadrants and you look on the right hand side where you have the business owners and the investors, they only represent 5% of all the population, but they do represent 95% of all the profits and
All
income.
the wealth, right?
So
Now,
we're
we
a
should-
bunch of smart people here, right? So where do we want to be?
We should clarify that the cash flow quadrant that Jeff was just talking about comes from an amazing book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which
Yes.
one of our good friends, Sharon Lecter, was very active in the Rich Dad Poor Dad
And co-authored the
organization
book.
and co-authored the book.
Yeah, but-
So, and we highly recommend that. Sharon, you're amazing, and
She
we
is.
appreciate that. A little shout out to you.
Absolutely. Why don't we share a little bit? Why don't we introduce our three guests and maybe have them share a little bit how they came together and why we're so excited to have them in studio with us.
Truly glad you suggested that. Yeah. So guys, first of all, welcome to the Ecom Power Hour. You guys pretty much define what everybody thinks Ecom is. Just this young, go get 'em kind of attitude. And you guys have pretty much mastered this at a very young age. So if you don't mind, I did happen to notice you're also sitting in order of age. So let's say age before beauty. We'll start with you, Colin. Can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about you?
Beauty and age first. I'm currently 28 and connected here with Anthony. I think has it been about 2 years now?
About 2 years ago.
And when we connected, he was just connected with me on Facebook. I think that's how most people connect with each other nowadays. Is online. Anyways, we connected and we started making some funnels. That was where I got my start. Was in the making funnels, taking people through psychological stages, whether it was email sequences, webinar funnels, and there's a lot of that goes into it. There's a lot of headaches, and then there's making money as well. But connected here with Anthony, and he just kept diving deeper and deeper and deeper, and obviously we became obsessed in different areas, which I'm sure we'll dive deeper into, which is e-commerce.
Right. That's excellent. And Anthony, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, I'm 21 years old. I started as an entrepreneur in network marketing when I was about 18, 19 years old. I eventually, came across Colin, who made me realize that there's better ways to make money online. Introduced me to sales funnels, to automating your businesses, and eventually I found my e-commerce mentor. It's actually, his name is Todd Dow. He's one of the best on the internet right now when it comes to e-commerce, and he taught me basically everything I know when it comes to e-commerce. It took me, about 6 months, but I finally cracked the code, and
That's excellent. That's
it's
excellent.
been awesome.
And we have Arrow, A-R-O, over here. And tell us a little bit about you.
So basically, my background, I used to work with a lot of people in the music industry, making a lot of these artists stores for their, for their merchandise, and I just did a lot of work for them, not getting paid, helping a lot of people make a lot of money. And I met these guys about 3 months ago online, and they're teaching me how to really make real money online and do it the real way.
That's great. So you spent your time making other people famous. And
Yeah,
other people
I like making people famous.
It's kind of interesting because really isn't that what a job is all about? It's about making somebody else money and somebody else famous or somebody else giving them status while you really kind of do all the work.
What I think is amazing is how the three of these young guys all ended up together.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. So maybe you guys could shed some light on that because you're from Minnesota, and you're from Jersey, and you're from Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
So how do you guys all end up in Scottsdale at the? Well, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but we have a name for you guys. Did I tell you that yet?
The millennials.
So yeah, you guys are the Millennial Mansion.
Oh, the millennial mansion. That's dope.
That's
I like that.
That's it. That's it, bro.
So you guys should be doing a logo and a little stage
like
for that. Yeah.
We're going to take
Millennial
that
mansion. Oh,
Yeah,
there you
no,
go.
that's you guys. So how do you guys all end up in Scottsdale in a beautiful? I've been to their house; it's amazing, gorgeous. Into this amazing mansion in Scottsdale, Arizona. How do you end up together?
I think Anthony is the most persistent person out there. He kept bothering me back, 2 years ago. The best thing I ever did in my life was flying him out to Minnesota to live with me, and the rest was kind of history. Obviously, the big time bonus.
So actually, I'm going to pause you up here. Okay. So we're going to tease our audience right now. Let's let them know. We're going to come back with Anthony and Colin's story here in just a minute. Before you go, I also want to let you know that later in the show, we're going to be talking about like specific funnels. What that is really what a funnel is a business system. And everybody needs to have a business system, because if you don't have a business system, you're not going to get rich. You're not going to be wealthy. You're not going to retire in 3 years or less. Bottom line. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. You bet. I think that's one of the critical things. I mean, the thing I love about these guys is they've been trained how to create systems and funnels, and they're just becoming expert at it. And we'll talk a lot more about that next break.
Next break. Thanks.
Now back to Ecom Power Hour.
Right. So here we are, segment number 2. And as we get into segment number 2, I want to, again, this is Jeff Fagin, along with Jason Nast.
Right here.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
And I think Damien, I'm sorry. It's the red hair. Colin was just telling us about how he got together with Anthony, and you said one of the best things you did was actually pay him to fly him out to Minnesota.
One of the best things I've ever did,
right,
hands down. This is Colin here. You know, the big thing is when you have somebody that's so persistent. I think entrepreneurs in general, you know, when you're striving for something, regardless of what age you are, whether you're 16 years old trying to make it in high school, or whether you're killing it and you're in college. He was just like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. He kept showing up every single day, and next thing you know, it led to us being in the same house and really masterminding on bigger things. And then obviously from there, we started running funnels, right? Yeah. And then when we ran our credit funnel, we ran into Arrow, and he was impressed with what we were doing. And next thing you know, I think you always take a little bit of a risk when you fly somebody out when you don't know the chemistry right on point. But since the day he's came out here, man, it's been on point, and so grateful for you guys and the show as well, Money Radio. Appreciate you having us on here.
Hey, man, we're happy to. So you flew him out to Minnesota. So you left the coast of Jersey to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And how'd that, besides the fact that it turned out great for you in financially and all this stuff, how'd that work weather-wise for you?
Weather-wise, I actually got to Minnesota towards the end of the winter, and then I left Minnesota towards the beginning of the winter.
Oh, okay. So you missed the harshness.
So like all the really bad stuff. We went to St. John and the Virgin Islands, like literally right before, you know, that really got bad, and then went to Arizona.
That's the way to do it.
And we just came to Arizona just because it's beautiful.
Because it's beautiful here.
It's
exactly.
the only reason.
Exactly.
I came out here 2 years ago and fell in love with it, and I was like, man, we need Wi-Fi. We had these power outages on St. John.
Oh my God, it was like 3 hours of no internet.
Yeah, it was. That sucks, especially in the wintertime.
And for us entrepreneurs, we cry when there's no Wi-Fi.
Well, you watch your bank account go like this.
Yeah, you
like,
can't do anything, you know.
That's not fun. And then you brought Arrow in because he actually. The story is that, say, Colin, you have a credit site that helps people repair credit, and
100%,
and then also helps them get credit. Business lines of credit. Is that correct?
Yeah, the big thing was leveraging debt, and I think that's a thing. Most people are like, don't leverage debt. If you're not responsible, don't leverage debt. Mm-hmm. So we whether it's credit repair, adding trade lines, it doesn't matter what age you are, you're able to build your credit up, leverage it like we did. And we were running a course on that. It was highly, people wanted to know about these things just because everybody wants access to capital, but how do you get access to capital? So we ran into Arrow at that time, and it was one of the best things that happened too.
And Arrow, so the funny part of this story is that, and I remember you telling me, this is Jason, I'm talking about Arrow over here. Arrow is the youngest of the group, right?
Yeah.
How old are you, Arrow?
I'm 21.
He's 21,
Yeah.
Okay. So, and he got onto your credit thing, and I heard the story from both sides, so I'm gonna give both sides of the story here. So Scott's like, oh yeah, I get this phone call in the middle of the night, and like he just seems to be on it, and then he did the whole entire 12-week program in like
24 hours,
48 hours. Like
and he says, what's next? What's next? I'm like, man, you just finished the course. We got to wait for the bureaus to update
here. And then from his side, he's like, yeah, I'm going through this thing, and I'm looking at it, and I thought, oh, I'll try it.
Yeah,
sure,
I respected the marketing. I saw the marketing, and I was like, these guys know exactly what they're doing. They knew exactly how to sell me, and I usually don't fall for any of those type of courses, but I was like, these guys are real.
Yeah, and then they pre-qualified you.
Yeah, they pre-qualified me. knew exactly how much money I had before they asked me to spend.
And then the winner was at the end. It had a phone number.
Yeah.
And it's like, who does that?
It was
Nobody
12.
does
It was
a
12
phone
o'clock
number.
at night. It was 12 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'm probably gonna hear an automated voice message.
Yeah.
Just give it a shot.
I'm like, I'm just gonna call. I call. Someone actually picks up. And
What,
we end up talking.
What you don't know is that you woke him up, and he got up out of bed and next door and woke him up, and then
Yeah, pretty much. But we ended up talking about Facebook ads for like 3 hours
That's
till like
awesome.
2 a.m. in the morning.
That's great. That is great. So this is the kind of thing. This is the synergy. That's entrepreneurialism right there. And and even though these guys are from completely different cultures, different parts of the United States, they still ended up getting together and doing some phenomenal things.
And this is really the new world we live in now. I mean, you think about the marketer's mansion. I mean, we've got the millennial mansion. Look at the marketer's mansion. We've got people. We have one person from Ireland via Silicon Valley over here. Wow. Right? We've got Lawrence, who was in Florida via Texas over here. We've got all these people who are from California. I mean, when I go to Tech Academics headquarters, you look at the license plates on all the vehicles. It's like all of a sudden Phoenix has become a mecca for all these internet marketers that are just literally flocking here, and this is becoming like the space. And I don't know that it was so prevalent even 3-4 years ago.
I was here 2 years ago. I didn't see as much going on, and next thing you know, you got Tech Academics rocking and rolling. You got the Money Radio Show here. I don't know what it is. Everybody seems to be flocking here.
That's true. That's very true.
Absolutely. And I love. We were talking about Colin's program.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you know today, Jason, that either needs more availability to capital or needs improvement to their credit rating?
Pretty much everybody. And the thing that I always find, and the one hurdle that a lot of people talk about when getting educated in Ecom.
Yep.
This is a free service. We're going to literally divulge secrets on the air about how to make things work. But there's a lot of education. The number one reason people don't get educated is because they can't afford it. And that's an opportunity right there to leverage credit for your own benefit. If you take that credit, you leverage it for education, opportunity, ads, things like this, that turns around and that can generate you a significant income.
Well, because you said the magic word leverage. So
Yeah.
if you're an entrepreneur and you understand leverage and you understand credit and you understand marketing, if you can understand the credit that you can get from marketing and you understand how to leverage marketing, you can get rich.
Yes.
It's just that simple.
Well,
but you got to have the credit, or you got to have the access to the capital, right?
And you make the point, Jeff, and Colin, he solves that problem right there. That's what
Appreciate
Ecom
that.
is all about, solving problems.
I
right?
know that.
It seems like everybody wants to get into e-commerce. Seems to be like one of the hottest conversations. I don't think a year ago it was as hot, and then next thing you know, all over Facebook, everybody's running like a new Shopify course or whatever. And
Well, that's actually interesting that you bring it up, Colin. So I'm going to kind of shift over with Anthony here because that's what you do, right? You are a Shopify guy, and most people don't even know what Shopify is, and you pretty much run your entire business on Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, I run all of my traffic comes strictly from Facebook.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. So tell us, what is Shopify? What is it?
So Shopify is just one of the many platforms on the internet for e-commerce. You have BigCommerce. There's all different ones, but in my opinion, Shopify is the most user friendly to start your first e-commerce store.
Okay, so it's kind of like what eBay was back in the day. It was a place for people to go on and sell things, and it made it easy for them to just kind of upload some pictures and take money.
Right.
And Shopify is like the grown-up version of that. Now.
Exactly.
It's
not SEO'd. You're not going to have traffic coming strictly just from like eBay or Amazon, people who have their own stores. It's all SEO'd, and they're getting traffic all the time. For Shopify, you have to run your own traffic, whether it's Facebook, Google, Instagram.
So that really, traffic, when you say traffic, that really kind of goes back to the same old thing it's been forever. If you have a brick and mortar store, you have to have foot traffic to make money. Right. And what you have is a click in order store, and you still have to drive traffic. You just don't drive foot traffic. You drive traffic through Facebook. Is that right?
Exactly.
How do you do that? What's involved in that?
So really all you need to do is you create a Facebook ad. I typically run only video ads.
Okay.
Right? So I will create a video ad based on whatever product that I want to promote. I typically promote 1 to 2 products at a time, and I'll just drive that. I'll run traffic through Facebook's ad manager and drive traffic to my link to my product page on my store.
So when you look at Facebook, see, this is an epiphany for me. And by the way, this is Jason talking because I know there's a lot of voices in the room here. When I used to look at Facebook, it used to be I would look at Facebook and I'd post what I ate and I did things like that. I looked at it from a consumer's point of view, or so I was consuming the information that was on Facebook. Now I look at it from a marketer's point of view.
Way different.
Way different. When you look at it as an ROI, my God, return on investment, it's huge.
All Facebook is anymore is just for business.
That's it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to talk more about how to generate an ROI, a return on investment from your time invested in Facebook. How many hours do you burn a day in Facebook now? And wouldn't you like to get a little return on that? We're going to be talking about that in our next segment. We want to thank our guests today. We got Arrow, we got Anthony, we got Colin, and Jeff, and I, Jason Nast. We're ready to bring you some real Ecom Power Hour secret sauce stuff next. Coming up right in the next break.
Now back to Ecom Power Hour. Here are your hosts, Jeff Fagin and Jason Nast.
So incredible stuff here. We were kind of chatting during the break here. We're going to bring it all back around to you right now. But listening to these guys talk about the things that they do with Facebook is just incredible.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait until you're as smart as these guys are.
Well,
Jason.
we're working on it. We're working on it.
I know.
So we have Arrow in the room here, and during the break, I learned something about him. I had no idea, but he sold a $6.5 million house using Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear about that, because and by the way, there are conservatively 20,000, actually we happen to know there's 20,001 realtors right here in Maricopa County that would love to know how you sold $6.5 million house.
He only spent
Facebook.
$300.
$400.
Okay, great, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
so,
Let's hear about it.
All right, so basically, one thing I say as an entrepreneur is to always do what you love. And I didn't think this was going to happen, but basically, I want to. I saw that there's a house on the market back at home in Greenwich, Connecticut. That's like a rich town, and where I live, there's like $1 million houses everywhere. Basically, me and one of my friends went up to a realtor and partnered with this lady named Jen Danzy. She runs Greenwich Polo. She's the reason why this all happened. And basically, we went to the realtor and we told them, hey, we're going to bring high net worth people in your house. Your house has been on the market for 3 years. How about we make a video and advertise an art event in your house? So basically, we got a few sponsors around town. I did marketing. I filmed a video, and I ran about pretty much $500 in Facebook ads doing retargeting, and had 3 weeks to market the event. 600 people came to this house. Oh man, 600 people. The cops came to the house. Well, luckily we had like valet and everything set up, so everything's clean. And 2 days after the party was over, someone came and made a $6.5 million offer on the house. Man, that's incredible. And that's where I learned the power of Facebook ads.
So that right there is every realtor's dream open house.
Yeah.
Right there.
The realtor, the guy who owned the house, was happy. The house was on the market for 3
And
years.
I would add that not only was Arrow brilliant at doing the Facebook marketing, but the whole strategy of creating an art event in this house and having valet parking and creating a whole event and featuring the house was totally brilliant. It wasn't just the Facebook marketing, although I appreciate that. Yeah. It's the whole strategy around how you went about creating an event and highlighting the house.
Yeah,
was
we
brilliant.
just like subliminally advertised the house without saying, hey, come buy this house, come buy this house. We're like, hey, just come enjoy the experience of the house. Look at this beautiful art. And then people just talked about it all around. It was just a word of mouth type of thing. Once people saw, like, wait, there's an art event in a house, everyone around the town started talking about it.
Well, that is incredible. So now I have a really important question for you, Arrow, and that is if one or many of these 20,001 realtors here in Maricopa County wanted to get with you and consult with you a little bit about that, how would they reach you?
If you want to reach me, just email me at arrow@aro.media, and that's my email.
And it's arrow, ARO,
yeah.
at ARO
.media. Yeah.
Excellent. And now we're talking about contact. You know, it's really probably a great time to really get you guys and figure out, how do people reach you, Anthony? What's the best way to reach you?
Well, you can go onto Facebook and just search Sandi Boss Life, Sandi, then Boss Life, and my Facebook will pop up. You can shoot me a message. We can connect.
Sandi Boss Life. Got it. And then, and Colin, how do we find you?
Yeah, same for me. Facebook, it's going to be Colin Winland with the W Schmidt, and Instagram as well.
Okay.
Colin W Schmidt.
We're gonna have you spell it out though, just to make sure everybody's got it.
Colin, and then middle initials W, and my last name Schmidt, which is Schmidt.
Excellent. So they can reach out to you on Facebook and friend you, like you, message you, and you'll be able to contact them, talk about those things. Right. So Arrow, coming back to you again, some of the things you do, not only the Facebook stuff, but you also get into CPA.
Yeah.
And you know, our intro talks about all the magical alphabet of internet marketing. Tell us what CPA is.
All right, so CPA, it's kind of like e-commerce. It's cost per action advertisement. So pretty much advertisers, they'll pay me to generate leads for their company. So realtors, skincare companies, any company that needs leads, I will generate traffic for them. Basically, what I do, instead of using Facebook, I mean, I can use Facebook, but I do this thing called media buying. And there's people that broker traffic. And what they do is they go to a bunch of different websites, and they broker the traffic and they sell it to people for cheap. So where Anthony, he might get 25 cents a click, I might get 5 cents a click for traffic I get. Okay. And I buy traffic for cheap, and then I get paid on the back end for specific offers. So some advertisers, they'll pay like $4 per lead I generate for them, or they might pay like $20 a sale, and I just optimize my campaigns so I generate a positive ROI for these people.
Okay, so
hold on, just so I'm clear. So for our listeners, give me an example of someone who might want to call you up and say, "Hey, Arrow, I really like what you're doing."
So all right, so I can give you
who would be like a prime prospect for you?
So prime prospect, I can tell you like a realtor. That's prime prospect. Basically, I would create a funnel. So I work with Colin. We'll create a funnel, and I will buy traffic from, say, a real estate blog, and I'll buy like a banner on that side of their website. Okay. I'll track how many visitors click the ad and fill out application on the website. And on the back end, the advertiser, I could tell like, all right, out of every 100 visitors, I could tell maybe 10 people sign up, and out of those 10 people, 2 people actually become clients, and they're paying clients. And if I'm getting positive ROI off whatever I'm spending, of course I'm going to send as much money as possible.
I guess that's the magic equation right there. Is if I can spend $1 and make $2, how much money do you spend?
Well, that's
everything you have.
Well, that's right. In fact, I say to people all the time, "What's your marketing budget?" Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. If you have marketing that doesn't work, are you going to continue using it?
No.
Okay.
Stop.
So you'll stop, and then you'll continue until you find marketing that does work, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your marketing budget?
It could be anything. Like
if it works, how much do you want to spend on marketing?
As much as possible.
That's right.
I spend $1 million. People that spend thousands of dollars a day because they know for every dollar you spend, they're making $3,000.
So my point is, if you have marketing, effective marketing, you don't have a budget.
Yeah.
Because for every dollar you invest in marketing, you're getting a multiple return. Exactly. Why would you have a budget?
You just keep going.
You just keep
spend
going.
As much as possible. Once I know a campaign is winning, I try to spend as much as possible, as much money I have, so I can.
And that's the secret right there. Find a winning marketing strategy and just pump the living daylights out of it.
Yeah, you might lose a bunch of money testing. Yep. But as soon as you find that winner, you make your money back in one day.
Many times.
And you don't actually lose money on testing. This is something that I found out in Ecom, in my experience, is that you don't lose money on testing. What you do is you buy data. Yeah. Would you guys agree?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Said.
Yeah, you buy data. So you buy the data. If I spend $1,000 and I get one person to click, I know the one person that clicked.
Yeah.
And now I can find more of those one persons that click. And so you never really lose money. You just invest in data until you figure out the right winning combination.
Yeah, it's like when you take a stats class and you need to find statistically significant data. You need to find the statistically significant data.
I love it. And that's the other thing that's really kind of cool. So what this kind of comes back, Jeff, this comes back to what you're talking about, is business systems. And that's what you're an expert in, is business systems.
Yep.
And what I hear, and they don't say it like this. They don't say, "Oh, here's my business system." But what they're saying, every one of them is saying the same thing. We got funnels. We got funnels that we build and we design. We use psychology. We use email marketing campaigns. We use webinars. We use things. That's what Colin does.
Yep.
And we got funnels over here with Facebook. We find winning products. We do winning ads.
And I would add, I'm sure you have a system for identifying what are the right products, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you have a system for testing to identify what's going to work best, right?
system
You have
for
a
everything.
system for everything, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And again, Jason and you and I know this better than anyone. I mean, if you're going to build anything that you want to have scale,
Yeah.
if it's not if it's random or haphazard,
Yeah.
it ain't going to work. It's got to be a system that's
gotta be systemized.
duplicatable, right? So outstanding.
And the other thing is you talked about statistical analysis, and that's one of the things that most people don't do. They don't actually look at their ROI, and I found it fascinating when people ask, how much are you making and how much you're spending, and they don't have the answer.
It's the only thing
Oh,
that
wait,
matters.
they never have the answer.
One of the
I don't
things you need
understand
to
why.
have,
That's all that matters.
you need to know how much you spent and how much you made. We have some really cool stuff coming up in the next segment. We're going to actually be talking about the ROI, and we're also going to be talking about hashtags. And I know a lot of our listeners don't have a clue what hashtags are. They're going to know right after the next segment. They're going to know definitively how to use hashtags to make money.
How could this segment like didn't just start?
Boom! I know it goes so fast.
It
This
does,
is what,
man.
This is what happens in the Ecom Power Hour.
That's
it's just
it.
amazing. Yeah, good stuff.
Outstanding. All right, so we'll be right back.
Now back to Ecom Power Hour. Here are your hosts, Jeff Fagin and Jason Nast.
Hey, it's Jason Nast and Jeff Fagin right here, and we're going to get right back into this because we have so much to cover, and time just flies.
It does.
man.
It's incredible. It's like boom, you blink an eye and the segment ends.
Yeah, we got the producer over here, the greatest producer in the world, by the way, and he's over here like flagging us. 5, 4, 3, wrap it up. So we talked at the beginning before the last break. We talked about hashtags, and what I found fascinating about hashtags is for many years I didn't understand them. I didn't know what they were. I didn't get it, and then I figured it out. And what I was trying to do in my efforts to build a brand, we have a team. It's called Team Bora Bora. And with that team, I said to everybody, there's 180 people strong. And I said, look, anytime you're at an event, anytime you're doing anything, hashtag Team Bora Bora. Just hashtag Team Bora Bora. And what surprised me is it's a very simple instruction, and yet nobody got it. Nobody got it.
Are you on Instagram or are you on Facebook?
All the above. We were
Okay.
doing it Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and so this was the key. So let me tell you what I know about hashtags, and then you guys can fill in what I'm right, wrong, or indifferent about. So hashtags started off really in Twitter, and what it is it's a search engine. It's a search tool. If I go into Twitter, I can search a hashtag, pound or the number sign. For people who don't know what a hashtag is, it's literally just the pound sign or the number sign. All the same thing, 3 different names for it. And it used to be able I could check what was trending on Facebook by the hashtag. So if there was something really significant going on, presidential election, you type in hashtag presidential election, and then you type in whatever your comment was, and people could search it and find all the information about presidential elections. Then people started kind of merging and going away from Twitter and going into Facebook. And Facebook said, we really don't care about hashtags. We don't index hashtags. We don't search them. We don't really care. And but people were hashtag happy at that point. It used to make me crazy. We had to just go. Anthony right now he's actually kind of smiling and laughing because we had a discussion about this. We'll talk about it. So my idea is you hashtag something that's important that you want searched, you want indexed, you want to see it. Don't go crazy with, I have black tires on my car, hashtag, my girlfriend is happy, hashtag, my girlfriend's not fat, whatever. Don't do that stuff. That's making me crazy. But then you chimed in and said you do that. You just hashtag the crap out of everything.
Yeah, I hashtag everything.
So tell me why you hashtag everything.
So on Facebook, so I'm not really big on Instagram like I used to be, but I do it on Facebook, and I only do it for the sole purpose of making the post stand out a little bit more.
Okay.
Or just making it look better. I always felt like it caught the person's eye better when they see that little like blue
whole bunch of hashtags.
Yeah, I don't do that many hashtags. I usually like to keep my statuses short and sweet, and put a hashtag, and it usually just makes it like look complete.
So if I'm doing a status, and by the way, you have tremendous success with organic traffic. So if I'm doing a status and I want that organic traffic, those likes, like you're getting lots, like 700.
For the novices who don't know what organic traffic is,
organic
it means you're not
traffic
paying for it.
It means you're not paying for it. It means that when it's what every
word of mouth.
It's what every Instagram model wants. They want to be able to throw a picture out there and have thousands of people like it and share it, versus the ones that put a post out there and get like 2 likes and they're like, oh my God, nobody liked it, I have to take it down now. So it's really about getting free traffic. But you get tons of traffic.
Yeah, I mean, not as much anymore. I mean, but at one point I was getting, anywhere from 600, 800 likes on my personal page, on my Facebook page. And I mean, I just kept my stuff short and sweet and used hashtags all the time. I feel like it kept the user more engaged. Like if I like said something like a quote and put like hashtag yes or yes, hashtag, something to make them like, and they'd all comment like, or like, always put like call to actions and stuff in my post, get them to comment and get them to engage with the hashtag, whatever it is.
So go ahead.
I used his formula. Hey, this is Colin. I used his formula for like, I don't know, was it like 5 days or so? And I'm getting 100 likes on my photos. I'd never really got that kind of engagement. So there is specific things that do allow you to get that kind of engagement that he does. So it's not always like just randomly you do a post and all of a sudden everybody's loving your post and stuff like that. He has a specific sequence of. You could kind of.
You mean he has a system?
He has a system for it.
I have a little system. That's actually kind of how I met Colin.
Okay.
Because I used to, for network marketing, I used to just try and get as much organic, reach as possible on my personal page just to network with people. Because
that's how we network.
Exactly. That's how we network. We actually connected like a year ago on Facebook.
Yeah, we didn't even know each other.
Didn't even know it, just because what I would do is a part of my system would be to make a post, something that's relatable to my audience, and I made sure of who my audience is, because I'd actually delete every one of my friends list to start, that high school friends, people I don't talk to anymore, ex-girlfriends, like I don't care about them. So I wanted my Facebook only for business.
That's good.
So I would go find other entrepreneurs who are getting good engagement already.
I bet you have a whole lot less drama in your life.
So much less drama. My news feed is just entrepreneurs, I would go to other entrepreneurs' pages. And my strategy is basically, if that person's getting engagement, those people are liking their status. If I post similar content and friend every single person that is liking their content, they're gonna like my content back.
So are you hijacking their page?
You basically take their engagement.
That's great. No, it's good.
There's bots for it too.
I think
there's bots for it.
Yeah, there's bots. I'd like to know from each one of these 3 guys, because they've been at this now for a while. How feasible do you think it is for someone like Jason, who's really only been doing this for a few months, really? How feasible is it that within 2 to 3 years, Jason can become financially free doing internet marketing?
It could be way, way shorter than that. Like, yes, 2 to 3 years is a great.
So let's go all the way down. Let's start with Arrow first, and then how feasible do you think it is for the average person, someone like me, someone like Jason, if they have the right mentors, they're learning the right things?
If you have the right mentors, you can easily make money within the first few months.
Define money. $1,000 a month?
$5,000 a month. I remember I was making $5,000 a month revenue selling jackets online.
And how long after you started learning?
I just taught myself, and I made a website within the first month, and then once we just got a few placements on a lot of blogs about the jacket we made, started making money first month, 2 months.
Wow.
Okay,
just from the word of mouth we created.
All right. How about you, Anthony? What are your thoughts?
I say easily the first month or two. It shouldn't take anyone more than 3 months if you're learning from the right person.
Got it.
If it's taking you more, honestly, if it takes you more than 2 months, and as long as the issue isn't capital. If it takes you longer than that, you're learning from the wrong person.
And when you say as long as the issue isn't capital, do you have to have hundreds of thousands?
You don't have to have hundreds of thousands. That's why the credit stuff is so crucial, because sometimes all anyone needs is $10,000 to $20,000, and they can start their business. Even if you're a noob when it comes to e-commerce, if you have $5,000, you can turn that into hundreds of thousands a month.
And that's pretty powerful statement.
It is.
This
That's
Jason.
very powerful.
I just want to say there's a couple of cool things about this, and I know, Colin, you specialize in credit, but one of the things that blew my mind is that a lot of people don't know this, is that Facebook actually gives you credit right off the bat.
Yeah.
And that's pretty powerful. So you could literally start with smaller than 20,000, but as long as you're rolling over the income that you're making, you can actually grow that pretty quickly.
This is Arrow talking. If I had no money, when I made a website, when I made a website, I would just DM people in my Facebook, just sending them the link.
Yep.
That's a click right there. That's for free.
Darn right, absolutely. And I want to get Colin's response to this question as well. Yeah, no, we're running out of time here. So.
I mean, the short of it is no matter, you got to have that drive. Like these guys get things done. He got all the credit course done in 24 hours. So if you're somebody that has that hustle, I really do feel like one that it shouldn't be one that if you're learning from the right person, it's 1 to 2 months to 3 months. It shouldn't take you longer, but then you have to look yourself in the mirror. If you aren't pushing that envelope and maybe you're chilling and watching Netflix at a certain point, you definitely got to have that, because it's not just all of a sudden you're making 6 figures online. There's a lot of work that goes in. You got to treat it like a real business. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's pretty cool. So real quick, we're running out of time here. So shout out how to get a hold of you, Aro.
You can email me at aro@aro.media. That's my email.
Connect with me on Facebook. Just search Sandi Boss Life. That's Sandi Boss Life, BOSSLIFE.
And look me up on Facebook as well. It's Colin W. Schmidt, which is COLINW and SCHMIDT.
And Jeff Fagin and Jason Nast here. You can reach us, the Ecom Power Hour. We are available on Facebook. Just look up the page, the Ecom Power Hour.
Huge thanks to our in-studio guest today. Outstanding. I'm sure we're going to have him back many more times. I'm excited man, we've got a whole series of shows coming up here. It's going to be amazing, Jason. Think how much we're going to learn out of all this.
That's very true. So we got the Millennial Mansion guys here.
Yeah, baby.
Next week, we're going to have the Marketers Mansion guys coming in.
All right.
And we've got some phenomenal guests staged and ready to come in and to educate you on e-commerce, making sense of all the crazy alphabet of e-commerce and affecting your bottom line. That's what it's all about.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you all next week.
All right.
And that's it.
Appreciate you guys having us.
It was great to be here.